Hi, hello, happy Tuesday. Well, it is a happy Tuesday actually because it's not raining. Oh gosh, it's been like the monsoon here recently. You know, I don't need a mobility scooter, I need a mobility canoe. It has never stopped, it was hammering it down all weekend, it was awful. But today, I've took a chance, my washing's on the rotary dryer, so I'm hoping that at least it will dry before the monsoon starts again. Oh dear, yes. Well, I went to the library on Monday to my knit group and managed to leave behind a lovely scarf. My friend went today and she inquired about it and they said, oh yeah, they'd seen it, but they didn't know where it was. So I think somebody must have took a fancy to it because they'd seen it draped over the back of the chair I've been sitting on. Really upset about it, I know, it was a lovely shawl. Scarf. It was made for me by a friend and I've worn it for years and years and I really loved it. It's just a narrow shawl, but it goes wider just at the middle of the back. So it's not a scarf, it's just like long and just a bit wider at the back. And I really love that scarf. But I think it probably had gone. Somebody has probably half-inched it, do you know what I mean, yeah? Well, I've sewn the buttons on my cardie. Ooh, wrong way, wrong way. It's very, very heavy and oh dear, I'm rubbish at this pointing this camera in the right direction. It's got like square red buttons on it. It's a very, very heavy cardigan. Oh, hello. Very, very heavy cardigan. It's like, so I think hopefully it'll be warm. It's made out of sari silk they cut it up very narrow and then they spin it, so it's a bit uneven. In fact, on one place already I've had to darn it where one of the thin bits has snapped. So it's a good job it's only mine, isn't it? Because, you know, imperfections don't worry me at all, yeah. Well, what am I wearing today? Well, I'm wearing pearls, which I don't normally wear, because, is it pearls for tears, or is that opals? No, opals is bad luck, isn't it? Pearls for tears, I think. The only tears I'm getting is because my eyes are still not right, you know. Still got what they call dry eye, which is rather ironic. Having dry eye when it's crying bucketfuls, you know, is not exactly how I would describe it. I would call it wet eye, not dry eye. But I asked about, you know, when I had my diabetic eye test, I asked about, you know, the bleed behind the eye and of course you get no answer, do you? You know, you just get, oh right, okay. They won't tell you anything. They may tell you by letter eventually, but yeah. By letter today I actually got my new SIM card because I'm having to change over from PlusNet mobile to EE mobile because they're changing it anyway. But I was complaining because for my amount of money I was paying each month, I was getting a ridiculously small amount of, what do they call them? Gigabytes? Whatever a gigabyte. Anyway, I've got a new deal. But I've got to swap the SIM card over in my phone, make a phone call, then swap it back over again. And then when I get told to swap it back over again, I don't understand all this. You know, whatever it is, I'm bound to do it wrong. If there's a right way and a wrong way, guess who always does it the wrong way? Well, I'll do what am I wearing today. I'm wearing a dress. I can't remember where I bought it from or when I bought it, but it's just a long dress. Well, it wouldn't be a short dress if it was me. Da da da, da da da, da 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 da. Ooh, that made me a bit dizzy. Oh, dearie me. I can't remember where I got it from, probably online, because that's where most of my clothes come from, is online. But I tried actually to book my hotel ready for going back to Prestwich in August, and I couldn't get through to anybody on the phone. Why is it impossible? Why do people not pick up phones? So I rang my niece and I said, can you do it for me? Because I wanted to know if it had a walk-in shower. It was no good them giving me a room that was either upstairs where they didn't have a lift, or it had a bath with a shower over the top and I can't get in the bath. So these were all questions I wanted to ask, and of course, you know, I need a plug. I need one for my scooter and I need a plug for my CPAP machine. All things you need to ask, but you can't get hold of anybody. Oh, what happened to the days when you could pick up a phone and somebody actually answered it, you know? So anyway, my niece said, well, I would do. She said, but I'm in Spain at the minute. So I just said, be careful, you're not burnt to a crisp. Because she's obviously the right side of the Gulf Stream. We've got the wet side in the UK. And she's got the hot side in Spain. So I hope she's not burnt herself. All she did was send me back a picture of the swimming pool. So whether that was to imply that she was in the swimming pool most of the time so she wasn't getting burnt, I don't know. Well, I'm still doing my sweater without a pattern, yeah. As you know, I showed you before, I've done the back. So I've now completed the front. I've got a different neckline this time. It won't finish up, I don't think, as square. But it's more of a square neckline. But whether I'll keep it as a square, I don't know. I will see when that time comes to do the edgings, yeah. So I actually started, while I was at the library, I started the sleeve. As you know, no pattern. I know I may annoy everybody, but I work better without a pattern, I really do. Some of the patterns, you know. You know, some of the patterns that you're paying £10 and £12 for them, aren't you? And I'm doing it again, looking over there again. Actually, I'm looking at my washing because it's spinning round, yeah. Yeah, I hate paying £10 and £12 for a pattern when I think to myself, I can do it better myself. Just got a big head, that's all. Do it yourself, yeah. Big head, big head. Well, I've just been sitting here in the conservatory because it's a lovely warm conservatory. I've just been reading, actually. I'm reading a book by Annie Murray called The Chocolate Girls. It's set in the war and just after the war. It's about a group of girls who work at, I think it's Bourneville, the chocolate factory. I won't say it's a thrilling book, but I'm one of those, once I start it, I can't like abandon. You know, even if I'm not like enthralled, I can't like abandon a book in the middle. I have to read it to this conclusion. So I've got like a bit more to read yet, as you can see. I read most of it, I read about 2/3 of it. So that's what I was reading before, when Trixie insisted on trying to climb on my knee, yeah. She's upstairs with her daddy at the moment. My son's not working today. My daughter-in-law, of course, as usual, has gone to see the grandchildren. But my son's not working. Next week will be different. You actually might see more of me next week. One never knows. Because my daughter-in-law's going away for the week. Only to friends. She's not going away, you know. And my son's working, so looks like I'm on dog watch. My son said, oh, you can leave him for an hour or two. But I won't. You know I won't. They're very pampered, our pooches. They don't get left a lot. Maybe an hour or two, sometimes when we have to, but by and large they're with us, or with somebody most of the time, yeah. They're upstairs with their daddy at the moment. No doubt they'll come galloping down very soon, because they normally do when I'm doing a video, don't they? They actually come galloping down the stairs, yeah. Well, Monday there must have been a tremendous, is that the right one? A huge funeral. I had to go on the other side of the road because there were so many people at this funeral. I still don't know who it was. Obviously somebody very well known in Fleetwood, because it was heaving with people. And I got there just as the hearse had pulled up and they were taking the coffin out, and I thought, oh, I can't go past, you know, I can't go round that way. It seems a bit irreverent, doesn't it, scooting past in his scooter when everybody's got their head down like that and they're taking the coffin out of the hearse. So I thought, no, I'll go the other way. I shall show respect, that's the word. And so I crossed the road and went, the other way around. So I don't know who it was. It was somebody called Mike, but obviously he was a very well-known man because there was hundreds and hundreds of people there. So maybe one day I will find out who Mike was. Yeah, so we shall see what went on. We had the gypsies camping on a piece of very soggy ground just round the corner from us, and they left behind a horrendous mess when they went. I've nothing against gypsies per se, they would just tidy up after themselves, not leave bags of rubbish and nappies and, well, diapers as you call them in America. Rubbish, diapers, everything, all left behind when they leave, you know. If they actually took it away in a black bag and put it in a bin somewhere, I would have a lot more respect for them. I know apparently they've moved down the road now and gone somewhere in Cleveland, so I just hope they've gone by the time I'm going to Cleveland tomorrow. I hope I don't have to scooter past them. But one never knows, yeah. I still haven't made an appointment to have my eyes tested yet. I've got to brave the internet and try to... the jury's still out whether I go back to Specsavers or whether I try a more independent, opticians or what. Because I don't get any help from... All I get is my eye test free. I have to pay for everything else, so I'd get a free eye test no matter which optician I went to. So I can't really say that I was really enamoured with the glasses I got from Specsavers. I don't think they were quite, tickety-boo. Not as good as the ones I used to get when I lived in Prestwich. There was a great opticians there, and I was really, really happy with all the glasses I got from him. Yeah. And I need to go back to the dentist. My teeth are so rough, the ones she did the fillings on. But I'm going to ask if I can have a different dentist because I don't really think she was all that great. I'm not going to name her. Not going to do that to her, but, I've been used to having really good dentists in the past, so when you get one that's, not so good, you're thinking, no, that's just not right, Every other dentist I've ever been to, apart from one in the past, which I won't name, but it was a long time ago, have always been brilliant, but this one I've not been happy with her at all. I mean, first of all, she injected in my cheek, and oh my goodness, mate, I have never had an injection like that in my life. I was begging her to stop, it was really hurting, and I mean, I am not a wimp. I have had injections in every part of my body, including epidurals. I never winced like I winced with her. And I'm saying to her, stop it, it's going in the wrong. And she just carried on, she was like, and she kept leaning into it. Oh, God, I thought she was going to come out the other side. Oh. I've never been afraid of dentists, but she's put a fear of whatnot in me. Yeah, I've never, ever. And one of my memories today was my spinal operation was today, apparently, in 2008. Didn't realise it was that long ago. Since I had rods and pins and Lord knows what put in my spine, yeah. Looking back though, I am glad I had it done. I'm still in a lot of pain, obviously. He did warn me at the time I had the operation done. He said, if you're having this operation done thinking that you're going to be out of pain, I'm afraid you're out of luck. He said, we're only doing it for stability because your spine's disintegrating, so we're putting the rods and the pins in to stave off that day, if you know what I mean, to give it a bit of stability. But the problem is, of course, it's giving me teeth. It's giving me stability at the bottom of my spine, but now the top of my spine and my neck are heading the same way. Oh, we've got another plane going over. My goodness me. I know I was having a lie-in this morning, but a plane went over. I'm sure it was a blinking jet or something. I said to my son not long ago, I said, what went over the head this morning? He said, oh, it was the Air Force. He said it went over at such a speed. He said it went, I thought the roof was coming in. But we live not far away, apparently, from some RAF base, and they do come over sometimes with these great big Harrier things or whatever they are. you know, big jets, they come over. I suppose they have to test them somewhere, but you know. Oh, I mean, it wasn't like it was early morning, because to be quite truthful, I was having a lie in. I knew my daughter-in-law would be out, and I knew my son would be in, so I didn't have to doggy mind, you know. So I thought, oh no, I've had some really unsettled nights lately, you know, where you wake yourself up, you try to go back to sleep, then you wake yourself up again and you don't know why. So, you know, all in all, you've had about, then in between time, of course, you've got to go to the bathroom, haven't you? Because when you've woken up for about the third time, you think, yes, I need to go. Then you can't get back to sleep again because you had to put your slippers on. And we've all been there, haven't we, ladies and gentlemen, if there are any gentlemen watching. We've all been there, you know, after 3 wakenings up in the night, you need to go, don't you? It's just human nature, I suppose, yeah. You know. Actually, I was talking to somebody, I can't remember why and where I was talking about. Oh, I know where it was. I was in the library and we have some coffee at the library. We make coffee. And there was a gentleman there making coffee. And he said, I don't know why I'm making this. He said, because it'll only mean I have about 3 trips to the bathroom in the middle of the night. And I went, yes, I feel your pain. I said, I'm not quite that bad usually, but I must have put the mockers on it because, obviously, since then, I have been reading 3 times in the night. Which means you're very, very groggy and you tend to fall asleep in the middle of the day, which is really nana, isn't it? Really granny. You know, when you sit there like that and you can feel your eyes going and you're like, no, I'm going to read, or no, I'm going to watch this, or no, I'm going to do a bit of crochet. And you're sitting there and your eyes are going and your head's going. And then eventually you wake up, don't you, and about you've missed the end of the programme you were watching. Or you've forgotten where you were up to in the book because the book's shut, you know. And you think, oh God, how long have I been asleep? And you look at the clock and, you know, only about maybe quarter of an hour's gone by or half an hour's gone by. You know, it's not like you've gone to sleep and you've zonked, is it? And I think, oh, I'm officially getting old, you know. Officially getting old when you need a nap in the middle of the day, yeah. And it's not like I'm on painkillers that zip me out, because I'm not taking anything at the minute. Well, I'm actually supposed to be taking one lot of muscle relaxers, but as you're supposed to take them on an empty stomach, I start eating my breakfast and I think, oh, should have taken the pill before my breakfast, because it's supposed to go on an empty stomach. So then I think, I'll take it before lunch if I'm going to have any, because I don't always have lunch. And then I forget. So maybe my stomach, it's not empty, but it's been a while since I ate anything, so maybe I should make myself another cup of coffee. It's a wonder I'm not wired with all the coffee I'm drinking. And also my son accidentally bought me some orange cans, and he forgot to get the 0 sugar one, so I might be a bit amped up on that, you know. All the sugar I'm not supposed to be having because I'm diabetic, but never mind. Never mind that. So I shall take one before my lunch. I believe we're having shepherd's pie tonight. My son is making it. I hope he doesn't put all the herbs and spices and everything he normally puts in. I'm a very plain eater. And I do like plain things, because otherwise my stomach gets very upset. You know, whining on about ailments. I've got IBS, you know, along with a million other people in the world, or maybe several million people in the world. But as I've got older, it's got less tolerant to certain things, and I don't know what it is that triggers. You know, I've tried my best to keep a food diary, done it several times in the past, and there just doesn't seem to be 1 or even 2 or 3 triggers. It just triggers. And I think, what have I been eating? What have I had? Why is it doing it? And you track back, and there's no one thing. It comes from different things each time I get it. So I can't narrow it down thinking I'm going to avoid cheese, for example, or I'm going to avoid... I mean, I'm avoiding cow's milk. I've been avoiding cow's milk since I was ill about 18 months ago, when I had a really, really bad do. And well, it wasn't the doctor, it was a nurse practitioner, suggested that I tried leaving cow's milk out and going on to the non-dairy, which doesn't seem to have made one bit of difference, but never mind. But now I'm on non-dairy now. At least it means I know I've always got my milk because, you know, they use their own milk because they're on dairy. Yeah. So I always know I've got my milk in the fridge, should I want it. I don't drink much anyway because I have black coffee. So I don't drink much milk of any way, shape or form, really. I use it on cereal if I have cereal. Because when it's cold, I do like my porridge. I would prefer it to be not the instant porridge. I would prefer it to be, you know, the proper porridge that you make in the saucepan. But the family don't like non-stick saucepans. They just like ordinary saucepans. And believe me, porridge sticks like glue to a saucepan. And I've tried doing this in the microwave, and it isn't the same. I'd rather, you know, do it in the saucepan. So anyway, I've waffled on long enough. I think it's time I actually did a bit of something. But I might finish my book actually, because I'm not really feeling in the mood. You know when you're not feeling your crochet? I was doing it on Monday in the, you know, the knitting club because everybody else was doing it, yeah. And I will probably do it tomorrow when I go to the other knit club. Probably do it then, yeah. But when I'm in on my own sometimes, I don't have the same inspiration. I'm not like doing something inspirational. I mean, I felt more inspired when I was knitting this sari silk actually, because it was like, ooh, wonder what it will look like when it's finished. Whereas this sweater I'm making now, I know what it's going to look like when it's finished because I made the purple one, didn't I? Yeah, so I should go in the shed because I promised actually I'd look out a shawl for a friend of mine. She wanted a virus shawl making and I thought, oh, I've got some already made. I'll see if she likes any of them first, yeah. But I haven't been out to the shed, I've been very lazy. Again, I have to be inspired to go into my shed. I have to think, if I'd have got up early this morning, I might have been inspired. But I didn't. So now I'll have to wait, well, Friday to be inspired. Because I'm going out all day tomorrow. I've got 2 knit clubs tomorrow. And Thursday I go out to the cafe. Which, like, I need to go really because to see if my friend has managed to find the shawl, the scarf, which she won't have, I think, because she won't come back to the library, will she? No, I'll have to wait next week before she goes to the library on Monday for that. Oh, I do hope they find it. I should be very upset, because I didn't make it, so I don't know how she, you know, I think it was Ian, not my Ian, I think it was Ian who made it for me. I'll have to message him, see if he's got the pattern, and at least I could make myself another one. See, maybe he did it out of, you know, inspiration off his top of his head. Maybe he did. Yeah, I haven't spoken to him for quite some time, actually. Not because we've fallen out or anything like that, you just drift, don't you? Well, talking about talking to people, I talked to Sue. She's been busy in her garden. She's got this humongous garden, I believe. So she's been, you know, cutting back some ivy and cutting back some things that's taking over the world. And getting things, you know, picking things. She's got this fruit garden. She's been planting veggies and stuff like that. I don't know when I'm going to be able to get up to see her. I don't know whether it'll be this year, whether it'll be next. I keep saying that, don't I? I would love to go up this year, but I mean, the weather's been abysmal, hasn't it? Although she hasn't had it so bad from the sound of it. She's not had so much rain as we've had, yeah. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm doing it again now to look into the side again. Me washing. It's fascinating me spinning round. You know, small things amuse small minds, don't they, you know. You know, if you get distracted by a washing spinning round on a rotary dryer, it's time to, you know, think of something more inspirational, isn't it? And on that note, before my phone starts going bibbity-beep, bibbity-beep like it normally does, I will say goodbye and I will see you all another day. Although I can never do it every single day. I never have anything to talk to you about. I'm sure you must be bored of me waffling on about anniversaries, about my spinal operation and stuff like that. It's not very inspiring, is it? Well, not for you anyway. Sorry about that. Anyway, I shall bid you farewell and hopefully I will speak to you another day. Bye for now.